The Americans continue to win this war, and time is actually running out very quick. They might possibly win their independence from the British Empire for a second time, because the Americans are continually outselling their dad here. Although, as I said before, the vast majority of people are just buying both. And that's cool. You get a discount. Head over to makeshift.com to get these today. Map of the world, but it's only the countries that have gotten independence from the United Kingdom. And apparently even the United Kingdom got their independence from the United Kingdom. Does that work? But who would win this hypothetical war? I guess it would depend if all these African nations unite. Actually, no. Probably not. It would maybe still be the USA. Sorry, Canada. You're big, but you have less than 40 million people living here. When did the UK get independence from the UK? 10,000 BC. Every man within this line is the same guy. From Portugal, Spain, Italy, South France, to all the Balkans and Turkey, and then all of Central Asia, stretching even all the way into modern-day China somehow. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever met anyone from these pixels here. Are we in agreement? Yay or nay? I actually think there's going to be a surprising amount of yays. Chinese equals Portuguese, I can confirm. I mean, that's literally the origin story of Macau, isn't it? I'm hearing this might be perhaps because everyone here is descendants from Genghis Khan, which is probably not exactly accurate because he didn't get this deep into Europe. But countries where the Prime Minister posted a little Dark Age edit on their Twitter account. Wait, Rishi did this? Who did this? Well, now I have to find out. Holy crap, the madman did do it. With the song and everything. Who told him to do this? Only 5,000 likes too? We're one step closer to a world where politicians just straight up use memes to advertise. Trump's just gonna drop a 30-second commercial with no music and just this. Excuse me guys, but I'm so sick of inaccurate maps here. Where was this island? Why is there literally nothing in this part of Saudi Arabia? Can't they build houses in like a Walmart here or something? I mean, a lot of other parts have at least roads and cities and towns. There's a whole lot of nothing just right here. I'm sure there can't just be a geographical reason for this. It's not like this area is just a giant hot hellscape or anything. Sadly, that would have otherwise been a great place to build because it is relatively flat compared to the rest of the country. I need real life lore to help me explain all this. Why is the USA sending money to Israel to find Hamas when Hamas is literally right next to us? How could we be so stupid? They've been right under our nose this whole time. They've just been tricking us by putting Ba in front of their name. Hamas is so tricky. Next, you're gonna tell me there's a town in Ohio named Palestine. Why doesn't Italy simply attack this place? It's literally the smallest country on Earth. Are they stupid or something? And it's even right next to their capital too. Italy, what are you doing? You're completely encircling this nation that's only the size of like 5 blue whales. Well, actually, maybe it's a little bit more than that, but you know, close enough. They have the power of God and possibly anime on their side. Italy would lose. Oh, that makes sense now. I have 1,000 hours in cartography. Ask me anything and then edit the question to make me look like I'm bad at cartography or a horrible person. Oh, this should be fun. Post a map showing the range of the Mind Goblin. That's the Deep South. Can you give me a map of the Balkans? Well, I guess Poland's close enough. Post a map of every place you've bought wait a second. If you're driving a car and see a kid in front of you, what do? Sometimes I don't even notice. This man might have ran over a couple children. Talk about the greatest cartographer of all time. Why is there a town called Brest? Are they simping or something? Something edge. Why? Never mind. And apparently there's at least 2 Brests in Europe. One is in France, and the other one we were just looking at is in Belarus. So that means there's 2. There's 2 Brests. Curious. Who would win the Roman Empire in 117 AD or the USS Gerald R. Ford? On one side, we have Trajan, who's still alive, and unknown psychological effects of napalm in Roman slums. On the other, fully manned and decked with airplanes, infinite ammo and fuel. It's not even a question. I've literally talked about this thing would be able to control the entire world, let alone just the Roman Empire. This probably wouldn't be stopped with these conditions, infinite ammo and fuel and fully manned, until like maybe the 1700s. And then even then, like literally every single ship would have to be sent at this thing, and like all the cannonballs. I don't even know if the cannonballs are going to be able to do much of this. You might not be able to stop it till the very early 1900s or late 1800s. Yeah, this is literally just becoming a civilization scenario. All right, I'll be the dummy who says it. It's wild that we have 6 continents and 2 of them are kind of shaped the same. So there's a lot of similarities between South America and Africa. I mean, for one, they were connected, so they have weird similarities, obviously. And it really wasn't even that long ago either. I do have to admit, Africa tends to have have a little bit more chaos in it than South America, which I'm not complaining. We probably need less chaos at this point. But can the continent of Africa completely recreate the world map with just continents of Africa? Probably, to be honest, because of the similarity in shape, but I do like the South American version of this map. Why are there no major cities in this area of Spain? Are they dumb or something? This is a lot of areas to not put any cities. Next, you're gonna tell me this is actually like rough terrain, a lot of hills and rivers and mountains, and it would be hard to build cities in those environments, but yeah, this is good old-fashioned gerrymandering. I can't fathom how there's no major cities outside of the major cities in Spain. If I was Spain and I had all this flat land to work with, I would build cities everywhere. Even my cities would have other cities in them. Map of the Caribbean and their Eurovision wins. Eurovision is a European singing competition, and this is a map of the Caribbean nowhere near Europe. But funny enough, it is an interesting map. So all the countries that do not actually participate and never have participated in Eurovision have had 0 wins. Whoa, shocker. But that doesn't mean there's no land in the Caribbean with no Eurovision wins, since there's plenty of islands in this part of Earth that are still controlled by European countries, believe it or not. So the UK, Netherlands, and France pulled together means they've gotten 5 Eurovision wins. It's actually also kind of interesting because technically countries can join Eurovision outside of Europe. Technically, even countries that don't exist anymore have participated in Eurovision. But yes, even the nation of Australia has participated, so anything's possible at this point. Was your country's prime minister caught watching Skibidi Toilet? No, 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 no. Yes, Belize, I'm gonna have a lot of questions. How do we know that the president of Belize is not making Skibidi Toilet? Maybe that's what he does as a side project. What the hell? Convert Skibidi Toilet and Coinbase to Belize dollar. What? Oh, dang it. I think we might have just been fooled by the internet. I would have been so excited too. Who would win this hypothetical war? I know it's so dumb to actually try to answer these questions, but I kind of want to. Immediately, orange looks really good. It's probably orange, but don't count out yellow, especially because you have San Diego, a large part of Texas and Florida, a lot of Sahara Desert here, but you have a lot of oil nations, Iran, then a bunch of population in India and China. You even get little parts of Japan. Why is this a pixel? Why are these hexagons? Would have liked to have done this if they weren't hexagons. I'm sorry, but red, green, blue, purple, just remove yourself now. It's probably orange, but if everyone gangs up and gives yellow all their strength, then maybe they're just gonna have a lot of meat shields. There's always Greenland and gray, which we don't have any data about. Who would win this war with Goku, Kratos, the Doomslayer, One Above All, Beatrix, the Automation, Super Earth, the Rebellion Alliance, Galactic Empire, Order of the Stones, the Employers, the Resistance, the Combine, the Three Moons Initiatives, Chaos Insurgency, the SCP Foundation, the Enclave, Brother of Steel, Titan TV Man, G-Toilet, Turkey, China, Russia, the US, all versus one man, Heavy from TF2. That is going to be a close one, that's for sure. I don't even know if I can pick this. I do think Heavy would need his medic for sure, but if he got that, it's all over with. They don't even stand a chance. Why did Ethiopia let these random countries steal all their coastline? Are they dumb or something? I know this was just a poopy post, but I do want to answer this playing the long game against rising sea levels. Now they used to have a coastline, but then they lost it. As with so many things, it always comes back down to imperialization. It's a very simple answer for a long story, but yeah, it's way more complicated than that. But I'm just, yeah. Who wins this war? Wow. This is actually going to be a tough one. Tea countries versus coffee countries. On one side, we have the UK, India, China, also Ireland, Russia, Pakistan, Turkey, is that Indonesia, Nigeria, Iran, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Morocco, and Hungary. Then on the other, we have France, Germany, the USA, Italy, Austria, a lot of Europe, basically, pretty much all of Europe, but also Thailand, Peru, Mexico, Colombia, and all of Latin America. They're more coffee countries. I immediately thought coffee countries, but tea countries got a lot of population, and then, you know, Russia's gonna bring them a lot of nukes. I actually don't know. This is a really tough one. We need to map it out. Coffee countries attack at 5 o'clock, face no resistance. It's kind of just a battle between East versus West, but obviously with some outliers like the UK. Also, I guess Chile is a tea country. Africa's still pretty divided, but yeah, this is a whole lot of red. This is kind of just like the Cold War map, divide between Japan and South Korea. Apparently, Finland is the biggest coffee drinkers in the world, so does that give them more strength in a war like this? I guess we'll never know. Or will we? Why didn't Christopher Columbus simply go through the Suez Canal to get to India? Why would he sail to the west? Is he stupid or something? Imagine trying to go to India and instead you go to somewhere in the Caribbean. Idiot. Especially with how useful the Suez Canal was in 1492. Really love that they built that like 600 years ago. Maybe he just didn't know how to read maps, or maybe he was reading a map like upside down. He didn't know India was this way. This is why geography is so important to teach people. I asked random Italians to point out Italy on the map. Geography is not their strength. So yeah, some Italians picked their actual home Italian peninsula, but then there was a bunch of other dumb Italians that picked this. Imagine choosing northern parts of Africa, the Middle East, Turkey, the Balkans as Italy. Wow. Again, with people that don't understand geography. But for some reason, all the Italians that picked France referred to it as the Gauls, and then they mentioned something about a giant wall they had to build in the UK. What are they talking about? It's almost as if the Italians were showed a map of Italy that was just completely wrong in elementary school. Maybe they need to update some of their textbooks or something? How to fix American politics. Instead of democracy, let's divide the US into two halves, each ruled by Democratic and Republican parties respectively. That way anyone can just move to the part ruled by the party they support. Everyone will be satisfied and happy. Meanwhile, Alaska and Hawaii divided by third parties. It definitely sounds like an interesting idea. Didn't South Asia try to do this? And that was pretty chaotic, just to say the least. I had this idea when I was 12. Yeah, it might actually make more sense to divide the country like this, but this being red, this being blue. That way less people have to move. Why am I trying to talk like this is something we should do? Never mind. Why is this sea between China and Korea called the Yellow Sea? Did a bunch of people pee here or something? They all got together and were like, hey, let's make it rain. Golden shower time. I don't know. That's such a horrible description. I'm disgusted by the things I say too sometimes. I wonder if we got like billions of people to actually pee in this part of the world, like would we be able to actually slightly turn it yellow? Man, thank goodness this post did not go in a direction that I just didn't really want it to go. I was afraid for a second there. Okay, the actual meaning comes from the Yellow River, but this just raises another question. What did y'all do in that river? Stop. Just please don't tell me there's like a brown river next. Speaking of which, on one side we have this Iranian town name and the other Poop Creek. So I guess there are like kind of brownish creeks. I mean, to be fair, I guess Oregon decided to not even beat around the bush, like call it the Yellow River or the Yellow Sea. Like, nah, we pooping in this. We calling it Poop Creek. Iran just doesn't mind cursing a bit more, I guess. Maybe they do it over here too. There's a competition between the two of them. Who can poop more? I want to choose a side. Don't forget to check out makeshift.com to reserve these today before they're gone forever. Big ol' thanks to my patrons. Drew's Argentinian grandpa. Lucas, the Canadian Goose from Avoca.
Drew har förvisats från Sverige för brottet att vara dans.
Amateur Archaeology. Sarsath. Carmel Saida. DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood. Fredrik Tibblin. Your dad back with the milk. Look out, InquisitorXarius. Sebby, if you hear this, Tambre.